Well, researchers are warning about the realities of living in class limbo, not in the middle class, but also not indigent. How are these families faring, and what does it mean to be in this financial band in South Africa? How does it affect their ability to apply for loans, get education funding, or even qualify for an RDP? Let's talk about it now with Dr Mary Mangai, who is a senior lecturer at UP. Good evening, Dr Mangai, and welcome. Thank you for your time tonight. Define for us this aspirant middle class in more detail.
Yeah, good evening to you and good evening to your viewers, and I'm happy to be here. So the what we call the indigent aspirant middle class are actually those who, like you mentioned, neither poor nor rich. So this kind of people are sort of in a trapped situation. They have some sort of, they are at a point of financial vulnerability. There are studies that emphasize the fact that between $4.5, which is about $4.5 per capita per day, would be the threshold for those who are not considered poor. So if you have your income less than that amount, you would be considered poor, and therefore every poor policies or programs would be targeted at you. But we have this group who are between the $4.5 and the $10. So they are stuck in this, what we call the upper bound poverty line, where they neither can be able to sustain their livelihood or be able to pay their bills as is expected. But the policies, the programs of government actually considers this kind of people as not being poor, so they should be able to fend for themselves and be able to take on their living standard. But over time, we've seen the facts and the cases where these people are at risk. So they have some sort of multidimensional poverty embedded in their lifestyle. Yeah. So the fact that you're not looking at only absolute poverty, but these people would be considered as those who are relatively poor. And we've seen from our studies that this group of people are not being considered effectively or efficiently in government policies, and they are allowed to assume the lifestyle of the middle class.
Dr. Mangai, I want to stop you there because I want to just connect with something you said earlier. The number that you're sharing with us in terms of what keeps them in this class, or how they look, or what their attributes are in this class, are between 90 Rand and 100 Rand a day. And the concern is, as you've been sharing with us, and maybe we'll end on the public policy part, is that they are constantly at risk of falling below and back into indigence. However, if they're in that band, almost in a weird way, they might still be able to access things that they can't, even though they have a little bit more money. So how does it affect their ability to get anywhere, to get loans, get educated, apply for housing?
Yes, so that's one of the challenges that we try to unravel regarding this group of people. So in essence, the policies and programs of government actually emphasize that these people should be able to access education, they should be able to have access to economic opportunities, they should be able to own assets, and at the same time they should have access to basic amenities such as quality healthcare or education, transportation, or even recreational facilities. But we've seen over time that because when you convert this amount I called in dollars, you would see that the government policies or programs emphasize that once they are above 3,000 Rand, which would be in a month, they are actually considered to be sufficient, and they should be able to fend for themselves. But we've seen that the issue of them having quality to good education, which would in turn provide them with good opportunities or potentials for skills enhancement, knowledge acquisition, which would in the long run actually get them better jobs. It's actually a bend in their pursuit for the social mobility, or in their pursuit for them to advance progressively to the middle class, which it's considered some sort of sustainable in the way that human beings should actually live. So we consider in the fact that capabilities are very important. Government is looking at basic needs and would say to the poor that if you have a household, or what government consider as being poor is to sort of cater for households that are up to 8 individuals, and yet they are given access to electricity, which is about 50 kilowatts, and 6,000 liters of water as being poor. But we're seeing that the aspirant middle class are in a position that even this basic amenities of life, they are not able to meet it. And therefore, the capability for them to have their voices felt in the political arena, but also even the dignity to life would actually be a challenge to such kind of people.
And would be severely compromised. So much to talk about there, especially considering that this is a phenomenon not only in South Africa, it's a growing gap globally, even in highly industrialized, better educated and more connected societies. Lots to talk about. Again, this is a report that you can access as the public. Please do go and have a look at it. Dr Mary Mangai is with the School of Public Management at UP.